What's up, Zox fam? Now, with all of this Genshin Impact drama going on, it is getting completely out of hand. It's so much so that I've just completely checked out. But one thing I do want to actually talk about, and this is more so a message to the creators coming into the space, is understanding our influence and how we are using it. Right. And the thing is that I will say, at least with the Genshin Impact drama, I felt like initially it wasn't drama. It started out as the community coming together for a common goal, right? And trying to actually and actively making changes for what they felt was necessary for just, again, the amount of time, the money that they put into the game to just be treated right and properly. Now, it is completely off of the rails. It's creator versus creator, community versus community. And literally what's starting to happen is people are making threads, people that are content creators in specific, making threads saying, hey, we're going to go and bully these people. If you support this person, then you're garbage. And it is just blowing my mind. And it's one of the most saddest things for me to see, because it really is a lack of understanding. And maybe not. I could be giving too much grace there, that maybe people really do understand what level of influence they have and they're just misusing it. But then I feel like there is a huge chunk that also does not realize the amount of influence they have and how they're using it. And so that's why I wanted this to be a message to the NECCs coming into the Wuthering Waves space, because I really, really do feel like we have an amazing thing on our hands. And it's not to say that we won't have drama, right? And I've said this in plenty of videos. It does not mean that we won't have drama or that we won't have things come up. But I think that the more tight-knit that we are and the more mature we are with handling our situations, understanding, right? And I'm gonna be the first one to say this. I don't know if any other creator has said this, but guys, if you have an issue with me, if you don't like something I've done or have said, I'm human, feel free to message me. It is always going to be an open door of invitation to have a dialogue about it. The answer is not going to be the video or the community post or the Twitter thread, or you can come to me and talk to me about anything. And I would hope that you guys would also follow in that example and have that being an open invitation for those individuals coming into the space, whether they're bigger or smaller, to be able to just have a conversation with you, so that can alleviate a lot of what ends up trickling down, right? And that's what I want to actually talk about. The fact that influence is being used the way that it's being used. Like I said, I'm seeing hey, let's go bully this community. That person's garbage because they support that person. It is really important to understand that what we are seeing is basically community rot, right? And the thing about that is that that's not good for anyone, right? And I think that a lot of the times it starts to now stray away from what we initially even are doing. We're here to enjoy a game, to come together because we all love and like something. And it's now becoming about egos and personal opinions about people. And I think that once you start going that route, you now have a community in disarray. And I think that that's something that we are just completely trying to alleviate and stay away from, and keeping it not necessarily always about fun, because of course, right? If an issue comes up, we should be able to talk about it. But how we go about talking about those issues is going to be very important, because that's going to be setting the tone for the remainder of the community. If the community sees that there is more constructive content floating around, there's typically going to tend to be a more constructive output. If you see more toxic and destructive energy and inputs being put out, then that's basically what you're going to start seeing circulate more. And I think that it is really, really important for me, for you guys, for your peace of mind. And this is the thing, guys, and I want to just have a moment of transparency, right? I had to understand this simple fact with my audience. My audience isn't just a whole bunch of people that have, they don't have the luxury to just sit at home and play video games and make videos all day. Appreciate you for subscribing, VL. Thank you. But they are in a position where they're either working a 9-to-5, they have kids, they go to school, they get on the internet to enjoy themselves. They get on the internet to relax or to wind down. They get on the internet to share a love for something that they have with the entire community. So I look back at some of the mistakes I've made because I don't want you guys to think that I'm perfect, right? And what you are seeing now is a creator that has been molded and sharpened from many of great things that I've done, but also many of mistakes that I've made over the last 7 years of me doing content creation. And I feel like one of the biggest things for me and one of the biggest understandings that I took was that my community really, honestly, truly just wants to have a place where they can relax, wind down, and be themselves and enjoy the content. And statistically, right, as much as you guys might think that toxic content and rage baiting, all that stuff is the biggest form of content on the platform, that is actually not. The biggest form and one of the most watched forms of content on the platform is actually positive content, right? But we are in such a small, narrow niche that's all we see. And you don't really get to see the full scope of what is normally and typically being presented. Yes, drama content obviously does really well, but positive content is something that is, again, could be watched over and over. It might bring a certain level of joy. And I think that's, for me, is the big takeaway. I don't care how many views I get on a video. I'm only ever concerned with the fact that someone leaves my video and they feel excited. They feel happy. They feel better. Like they can push on to another day and continue to work a job that might be stressing them out, or, it might encourage them or inspire them to now finally take a leap to do what I do. I just feel like I look at what I do with so much importance, and I understand the luxury and the blessing that I have to be able to have a certain level of influence, to be able to do what I do. And I think it is really important that as creators, we understand and remember that, right? Remembering that we are blessed to have the position that we have. Not and guys, the amount of people that wish to be in our positions, that wish they could actually get up every single day and play a video game and do what they love to do and, make videos and live stream and interact. I talk to creators and I mentor creators on a regular basis. I've helped many creators, not only at my size, smaller, but even bigger than me, make content that is true to the foundation of what they stand for. And I think it is really, really important, guys, that you continue to stand on what you believe. Don't fall into that's the way I get views, I gotta be negative all the time. Or, that's the way I get views, I gotta start creator beef. Because I promise you the long-term showing for that, I just look at this, right? And this is the point I'm trying to make. I look at my legacy. What do I want to leave behind as a CC? I would love, and I am appreciative of the fact that I have an opportunity to be a Wuthering Waves content creator. But I would love for my legacy and what people remember me for is that guy was a positive person. That guy was a good person. He was a genuine person. He really cared about people. He really tried his best to be fair and just. And I would even say just really honestly, truly understanding to everyone. Because I get it. It's not that we're not going to have disagreements. It's not that you're not going to have, fights with people. But I think it's all in the manner of how you handle those fights. And especially in public, I really implore you guys as Wuthering Waves content creators, whether you're an artist, whether you're a CC making videos, whether you're a cosplayer, whatever it is, remember at the end of the day, once you become a creator within a specific space, you become family. That's at least how I would at least envision it starting out. And yes, there might be family members that you have issues with or that you might disagree with, but everything stays between family. And you handle it as such, and you come to a compromise, and you really try to understand each other for the betterment of the overall family. Because you ever have those situations in your family where two people within your family are at odds and it just kind of creates division or just makes it odd, and awkward for everybody else? That's kind of what happens. Because the other thing I have to be mindful of is that people are friends with, for example, two people are at odds. There might be that one person that's in the middle and they're friends with both people. And so it's just being mindful of the fact that your actions do not only directly affect you, but they, affect everybody else trickling down that's attached to you. And once you have an amassed audience, once you are a bigger CC, that is what comes with your power. Whether you want to admit that or not, you are influence. You do have the ability to do better, and you should do better. And so I would say for me, and just what I would hope for the Wuthering Waves community, guys, I personally am not going to really be diving too much deeper into the Genshin Impact and the drama, and it doesn't have anything to do with what I want to see with Wuthering Waves. And I feel like that's one of the things that we have to be more focused on. Wuthering Waves, what Wuthering Waves has going on, what we want to see in Wuthering Waves. When we get into CBT2, that should be what we should be concerned about. Hey, what do we want to see Wuthering Waves produce? We already see the game and how it's being laid out. We'll be able to actually go in game and actually experience certain things. What do we want to see with Wuthering Waves? I'm not concerned with Punishing Gray Raven necessarily. Granted, I love Punishing Gray Raven. I think it's an amazing game, but it is two separate games. I'm not worried about Tower of Fantasy or Genshin Impact because, again, they're not relevant to Wuthering Waves. So for me, guys, like I said, that might have been a message for you guys as a community, but I really wanted that to be a message to the creators because I think it is really important, guys, that we band together, that we continue to try to make sure that we are serving our community more than anything. And I think that that's the biggest takeaway, is that we are doing a service to our community and not a disservice. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys come through to the twitch.tv/Zoxaskun. We'll be reacting to some more stuff at some point, probably today. I'll probably have the time posted on the community tab. But I appreciate you guys, as always, for just taking the time out of your day to listen. Everyone, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.